Okay, when you guys solve these, I always think inverse operations. Inverse operations are like opposite operations. And so right here, I look at this, and I think to myself, okay, I want to get that x alone. I want to have one x right there, and I want to see what the one x equals. So we got to get rid of that 6 and that negative 5. So normally, I mean, there's different ways to do this, but I think this is the more simple way. You want to do addition and subtraction first. And so I looked at this one right here. What's the opposite of subtraction? Opposite of subtraction is adding. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Okay, that's going to be your addition property of equality. And what is negative 6 plus 6? You guys know that? Yeah. Well, it's like they go away. It's 0. Because they're inverse operations, they go away. So I have negative 5x equals 7. And this is where some of you guys got scared, because you knew that the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So you would divide by this. But then you got a fraction. That's okay. Just leave it like that. Negative 7 over 5 is your answer right here. Now this next one over here is not simplified. This side right here is not simplified. So when you simplify a side, you either multiply, you combine like terms. Those are things that you do. You don't do inverse operations. Over here we added 6 divided by negative 5. Those are inverse operations. And so we got to add like terms here. What is 12d and negative 3d? Yeah, so we have 9d right here plus 2 equals 5. All right. Now we're back to like something that looks like this. What's the inverse operation you guys want to do first? Yeah, let's subtract 2, because subtracting 2 would be the opposite of adding 2. And so those are gone. Now I have 9d equals, that's a 3? Okay. Now, 9 is multiplying the d, so what's the opposite of that? So I'm going to divide by 9. What is 9 divided by 9? It's 1. So I have 1d right there equals, oh yeah, you don't have to have that 1 there, but sometimes I like to write it. Okay, and I divide that by 9. So this is 3 over 9. Now some of you guys simplify really fast. You're little simplifying machines. Okay? What can I divide the top and the bottom by? Divide by 3? Okay, I'm writing this all out because I want you guys to see it. But you don't always have to write it all out. So that's your answer. Whenever you guys get a fraction, make sure you simplify it. It's a very common mistake for students to do this. If you had 9 divided by 3, that equals 3. But if you have 3 divided by 9, that equals 1 over 3. Because 9 does not go into 3. So you get a fraction. So don't mess that up. Okay, if you have a 3, you made the mistake. Don't make that mistake. This right here says 3 divided by 9. Alright, let's take a look over here to this one right here. Alright, so for this one, are both the sides simplified? No, up here they were simplified. Okay, those are simplified. And over here, that one was not, and this one was. Okay, so this one has 2 sides that are not simplified. We got to simplify both those sides. So we add those together right here. Oh, but this one's a negative. So it's kind of like subtracting. I'm going to do that on the side right here. Let's see. You get 1.8. So it's like 9.2, and I'm subtracting 7.4. So I borrow right there, so, do that thing right there. You got 12 minus 4 is 8, and that's a 1. All right, cool. Now, whenever I'm adding a negative, I always have to ask myself, okay, is my answer supposed to be positive or is it supposed to be negative?
Positive.
And how do you know? How do you know it's supposed to be positive or negative?
Because the 9.2 is bigger.
Yeah, we have more negatives than we have positives. This number right here is farther from 0. So we have a negative 1.8p. Now on this side, we have to do the subtraction again, huh? So we have 5.3, 2.6, we subtract, that's an ugly 5. Alright, 13 minus 6, that'll give us 7. And we have a 2 right there. Okay, when I add those, am I supposed to get a positive or negative?
Positive.
We know it's a positive because that guy is farther from 0. There's more positives, however you want to say it. Positive 2.7. Alright, we're almost done solving this one. Okay. No, only this side has the P. Alright, so what is negative 1.8 doing to P? No, like what is this doing to that right now? They're multiplying, right? What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. So I can divide this by negative 0.8. So what's negative 0.8? Negative 1.8 and negative 1.8 divided by. Like if they divide each other, what do you get? They don't necessarily cancel out. You get a 1. They're the same numbers. Whenever you divide the same numbers, you get 1. So I have a 1p equals. Now I have to divide this one. Now this is when you would probably use a calculator. I'm okay with you guys using a calculator right now. We'll work on dividing decimals later. What did you guys get when you divided? Alright, so you guys plugged it in. We got 1.5. But the question is that positive or is that negative? Okay, if we go a positive divided by negative, what are you supposed to get? When you have different signs, you get negative. Oh, lots of review right now. So that's your answer. 1p equals negative 1.5. Now, notice how I have a decimal answer? That's because I have decimal numbers in my problem. If you don't have decimal numbers in your problem, then use fractions, so it's easier. Alright, so is this side right here simplified? Is this simplified? It is. There's no adding or multiplying to do there. Or dividing. Is this side simplified? Yeah, okay, so let's do adding and subtracting first. So what's the inverse of this one? So I got to subtract 7 to make him go away, and I got to subtract 7 from the other side. Subtraction of inequalities. So it's going to be 5. And then we have x over 4. Now I read it as x over 4. What's another way to read this? Do you guys know? X divided by 4. Now there's other ways to do this, but this is the way I see it right now. That says x divided by 4. So what's the opposite of divide? So I'm going to multiply by 4. That's going to cancel those out. And so I'm left with x on the left side. And then I have to multiply the other side by 4 also. What's 5 times 4? 20. Okay, let's do the last one. Last two, I guess. Alright, give myself some room right here. Okay. Is this side simplified? We always gotta check to see if it's simplified first. This side is not simplified. Is this simplified? Yeah, there's nothing to do there. Okay, so we have 22 over here. Alright, but what do we add together over here? Do we add the 20 and the 3?
25.
Or the 20 and the 5? What do we do? How do you know they add these guys together? Yeah, because they both have an x on them. Okay, so that's 25 x's. And then we have the minus 3. It doesn't matter the order. I could have written it like this. I could have said minus 3 plus 25x. I could have said it like that. It doesn't matter the order. They're the same thing. Alright, so let's go back to the other one, because I like putting the x first. That's just a preference. How do I get rid of minus 3? Yeah, you add 3. Okay, peace out 3. Alright, then we have 2, 5 right there, and we have 25x right here. How do I get rid of this 25 that's multiplying to my x? Divide by that 25. Okay, 25 divided by 25 is? Okay, so I have 1x equals 1. Oh, cool. X equals 1. Did you guys know that 1 is a ninja?
Yes.
Yeah, whenever he's next to a variable like this, he's not even really there. He's just gone. Okay, but if the x is all by himself, there's a ninja right there. There's a 1. So, if you don't like working with fractions, then you got to kill them. The way you kill fractions is you multiply them by the denominator. Or sometimes you can multiply them by bigger numbers, but we'll get to that. So what's my denominator for this fraction?
2.
Okay, so this is what you have to do. You have to take the whole thing, you have to multiply by 2. Okay, you gotta go 2 times that guy, 2 times that guy, 2 times that guy, 2 times that guy. Whoa, that's a quadruple rainbow. Alright, what's 2 times 8?
16.
So that's 16. This is the cool one. 3 over 2 times 2. is the same as taking the 2 over 1 and multiplying it by 3 over 2. When you guys multiply fractions, if you remember right, you multiply the top numbers together and then you multiply the bottom numbers together. So we get 6 over 2 W, and then we go 2 times the 12, which would be negative 24, and then 2 times 8, which is 16. Alright, so on this side right here, we can combine like terms on this side. Now there's other things you can do, but I'm just going to keep it simple. Let's simplify the right side. So on this side it's 16. This right here becomes a 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Ooh, no more fractions. Negative 24 and 16. When I add those together, I get negative 8. I know it's negative because there's more negatives than there are positives. And let's see. What do I do after that? Let's see. I add 8 to both sides because that's the opposite of subtracting 8. Add 8 to that, so I get 24 equals 3W. 3 is multiplying the W, so I'm going to divide by 3. So that gives me 1. So 1W equals, and I divide this by 3 also, and I get 8. So that's my answer for this one. So whenever you guys have a fraction inside of your equation, you just have to multiply it by the common denominator. So you see that 2 right there? That's the common denominator for these because there's only one fraction. We'll take a look at some other ones where there's different fractions with different denominators. And in those cases, you multiply them by the common denominator.